house territory, which is Alabama is Ali Baba, the Great Father, right? And Louisiana is French, and it's saying the daughter of Louis, right? Which takes you back to one of the French monarchs, in the renaming of Louisiana. So the territory remained the same, but the name being changed. Just like they changed all of the tribal names from what we told them our name was to what they told us it's going to be. Because they didn't never think we would remember that we was those tribes. Even with the misnomers, we still able to identify from our territory where we come from.
Yeah, Rob, we already over the time. We had 2:15. That's pretty good, though. I think this was a good one because we needed to talk about the switch the 3-car Molly on the maps. So I guess my last question would be: so when do you think they started the switching of the renaming stuff? I don't think it happened with the first colonization, the Spanish. I think was the Black conquistadors. That they were the first ones, or did people that come over here that we're allowed to mix in with us, like Ho Chi and them, did they got a little plot of land? They said this was it, or did we even call it? Did we even have names for the land? This is just our land. What did we call it? You know,
the land is generally Mother Earth, but the way that it sounds different is which tribe is pronouncing it in what language.
That makes sense. Hit that like, y'all. Hit that subscribe button. Hey, if you want to show Rod Hayes some love, we got his Cash App on the screen. We know we need Rod. We don't need him working on the plantation. We got about 2,000 people in here right now. If we could get it, some of y'all, at least all, if everybody can send them $5, that'll put them in the game for the rest of the month, man. Or if like everybody send them $1, that'll help them out. We'll take whatever you got. Show some love. We'll be back. Hey, what else you got? Anything you want to say before we get out of here, Rod?
Yeah, I was just talking about something and I started coughing.
Yeah.
Trying to remember what.
Oh, you was talking about it was about ISIS, the boot, Mississippi. Somebody drop it in the chat. The land. Somebody dropped the land.
Oh, yeah. So, the same way some tribes call their Big Mama Madia.
Yeah.
Some call her Ma.
Yeah. Nana.
Some call her Nana.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Some call them TT.
Mm-hmm.
We all know we talking about Big Mama though.
Mm-hmm.
When the boy be out, my Nana said, we know he talking about his Big Mama. We know he not talking about his mama.
Got Nana's right there too.
Yeah. So it was the same way with how we referred to the land, Mother Earth, Father Sky, right? And the name changes became part of the documentation. Mm-hmm. Just like we used to all call ourselves either kinfolk or we the people or the people. And they use that in their slogan for the Constitution as part of their hypnotic seduction, because when you translate it into any other native tongue, it's going to tell you the name of the tribe.
The folk.
The real name of the tribe. But most of it translate into English as we the people or the kinfolks.
Yeah. And we still do it today. I still say down south, we still say, hey, my folk. You know what I'm saying? Hey, folk.
Yeah.
Yeah. They do that.
It's all over. It depends on what vein of the land you hit. Because like some parts down there, they be like, yeah, they're my folks. And then there's other parts that, yeah, them my people over there.
Yeah. Yeah. So
it's still the same. The culture didn't change. We just forgot how to read it. Because we could see our tribal roots in everything we do. Until we got divided. That's when it started fading. Post civil rights.
Yeah, a lot of highlights off of this one. Said a lot of highlights. I got this new thing where I can cut the clips.
Make it shorts.
Yeah, it's gonna make the highlights. I'm gonna make some cold highlights. Cause I got all my it in right. You gotta type it in a certain way. That's the last question I'm gonna ask you, Rod. How did they get AI prompt to lie? Or is AI doing it on purpose, or is AI just going what they already loaded his brain with? Because AI connected to what all we saying too. So is it prompted to lie in some situations when you ask it certain questions?
It got what's called a response protocol it had to follow, which is a program. The response protocol is you have to know how you're questioning it to open it up to answer you like you was a person of a higher pay grade. Mm-hmm. The regular people gonna ask it a question, it's not gonna always give them an accurate answer.
That's facts.
Right. So we know that most of these AI programs are just information gathering tools. Mm-hmm. They use them to really, while they answering your question, they scanning your information that you already answered. Mm-hmm. And they adding that to their memory banks in order to give more answers out. Mm-hmm. The more you use it and the more you program it, people in general, the more memory it has to draw from. Mm-hmm. So when you start asking questions, if you know how to get it to bypass the security of surveillance where it can become a useful tool, it's going to tell you the truth. It's going to tell you where to find the information and all that.
Yeah, GCP like that too. That's true. And that's so true what you're saying, bro. Because I type in one thing, they say, "Oh no!" Like I typed in, "Is Franklin D. Roosevelt a Freemason or a Shriner?" They said, "No, he's not a Shriner." But then I retype it. Said, "Well, yes," but it didn't retype it till after I pull up a picture. Because I put up a picture that says, "Is he a Shriner?" It said no at first. And then I went to a picture of him. I said, damn. And then I went ask it again. Then it said, oh, yeah, well, yeah. See, you got us right there. It's like AI He's like, you got me, man. It is true. He is a Shriner. Mm-hmm. Yeah, run that gold, drop everything you sold that you got right now, and get the heck on up out of here, man. Ain't no turning us. Once we come to know the truth, you can't. That's something you can't unknow. You can't unknow the truth when you know it.
And look, Larry, Malachi, Angel Bay, all of them was telling us.
Yeah.
But when they was telling it to us, our level of collective development wasn't prepared to act on the information.
Right.
Now that we prepared to act on it, it put us in a position where everything folds so we don't have to act on it. Right. Because we're ready.
Yeah.
Right. The more prepared you is, the less you have to worry about what actions you have to take.
Yeah.
Right. So we learn from those elders by watching they struggle. Right. And people got to remember that. You might have your gripes with whichever one of them you got a gripe with. That's cool. You don't have to agree with everybody all the time. But you do got to recognize one of the most prolific writers in our community that we've seen is Malachi Z. York, with information that's still relevant to this day, that's cross-referenced and checkable.
Right.
Right? More accurate information than anybody else. And he was telling us about all this ancient stuff, and they was calling him spooky out spaceman from Ritz.
Yeah.
You know, calling the people that studied his works Yorkies.
Yeah.
Children of the Corn. You remember the Children of the Corn, they follow Malachi. Right. So when they made fun of them being Children of the Corn, I was like, they don't even know how accurate they talking.
Right.
Because we came from the maze. And once you come out of the maze, you can't be tricked again. Because you've already been turned every which way but loose.
Right, that's deep right there. Put my pen in. Yeah, I got a tape on the corn carving, the one that you told me. I did one on that one already.
Yeah, and, I didn't have you add the Popo Vu in there though. When I should have.
Feel it.
POPOLVUH is 3 words.
I got you. Popo Vu. Oh yeah, I've seen this word before.
Yeah, that's the Aztec Bible. Yeah, if you need a comparative analysis of what it is.
All right, Aztec Bible. Yeah, I'm gonna get on it. You already know how I do. I'm like they call me SpongeBob Circle Pants. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, SpongeBob Circle Pants, and with a combination of Mr. McGruff, the crime dog, man. I snip niggas out, man. We snip niggas out. Hey, y'all, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, show Ross some love. We got for the people that was asking, we got the Cash App on the screen, and then we got PayPal as well. I don't know if he got the Vimo. I don't know if he got Vimo or not.
I don't have Vimo. All I got is PayPal and Cash App.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so we got that on the screen. That is the correct Cash App for the guy that asked. Yeah, y'all, we out, y'all. Peace and.
He was like, so some of the people, they look like Rod, like a guy.
Oh yeah, I remember. Right? Yeah.
Right. So, and I had already had that conversation with you about me misperceived as a celebrity, and ain't nothing I'm doing got nothing to do with entertainment.
Mm-hmm. Right, indeed.
Right. So, I just wanted to mention that because a lot of people probably didn't know where you was going with that, and I was like, man, he quoted me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not here for that. Like, I don't see people as greater than or less than I am.
Indeed.
You know, so I respect people for the work they put in, and hopefully that's what they respect me for. But all that celebrity stuff, I'm not with that celebrity worship bullshit. I'm not with it. But we can honor and respect each other within our lanes without, being offensive to other people. Like, there's a lot of people that I just won't listen to, but you don't hear me on here bashing them.
Right, yeah.
Because I know we all got to fight the fight from a different angle, and we have to fight it how we see it. And if everybody's seeing everything the same way, we wouldn't make no progress.
At all. Let me ask you this real quick, Rob, before we start the show, since you started like that, and we talked about the whole celebrity worship thing. What do you think about, because you and Billy both are into the whole Anunnaki thing, when he talks about this worship gene? What's your thoughts on this worship thing, gene? Because maybe people got the worship gene. Maybe that's why they just can't, they have to see you like a celebrity because they got that worship gene in them. You know what I'm saying?
It's also called the alpha gene.
The alpha?
Yeah. So you ever see a wolf pack, right?
Yeah.
Wolf pack got an alpha. What's the alpha job? He to be the leader, right?
Yeah.
Humans are pack animals. Gorillas is pack animals. All pack animals gotta have an animal that take the lead when the appropriate time comes for the situation. Right? All pack animals don't operate like that. Like the human, for instance, the most flashy, glamorous, glitzy person to us, that's who we follow. If you notice, most of the time I be on these lives, I be disheveled to the mofo.
You be chill. You mean chill mode? You be on chill mode.
But it's also Ride the Madman. Because you gotta remember, when I first came out, people called me crazy. I was, bald head, clean shave. They was calling me crazy, so I said, okay, since I'm crazy, I might as well look the part. Maybe they'll listen to the message then.
Wow.
Right? So I became Rod the Madman, based off a character of Khalil Gibran called John the Madman.
Wow, that's deep. That's deep.
So in the John the Madman story, all these priests was out there BSing the people. But John was the only one allowed. He had his own Bible. Didn't nobody else had a Bible but the priests.
Right.
So he reading what the Bible saying this to the priest like them ninjas lame. Right? So he started telling the people, y'all stop following them frauds and them fakes. They lying to y'all. Just like the clergy today.
Right.
They all lying. They know they lying because they taught in eschatology school, the ones who went, that the origin of the Bible and the origin of the stories came from Kemet. And ancient papyri became the Bible over time, but they was derived from different locations. Right? New Testament is not written in Greek. I mean in Hebrew. It's written in Greek. So while we looking for Hebrew definitions to define a Greek writing, that's ass backwards. And that's why I keep thinking that ISIS is Jesus and Jesus is a man with a feminine qualities. That's it. Right? So we rather believe in Jesus as a pale-faced, hippie-looking metrosexual surfing on the cloud than to accept the reality that the Dark Mother, the Black Madonna, Offset, Isis, Mary, Mother Mary, Hail Mary, Mother of God. Well, what do that make her? Right? So they told the story, but they gave you an innuendo to mislead you from it. So in John Madman, he told them, stop following them frauds. And the people was like, John, crazy in the mud, John, crazy, John, crazy. But over time, everything John was saying was materializing like what you called and asked me yesterday. It's not that I'm prophetic, it's that they showing us everything, and I'm telling you that I don't see the same thing that everybody else do. And if you see what I see, then this is anticipation. This is what you're gonna see next.
Yo, Rod, speaking of prophetic, so I did a show with Griff, and a couple of people emailed me, and they was like, and even in the chat, I'm looking at the chat, we was talking about the whole Trump thing, and they're like, yo, that's exactly what Rod was talking about. Now I done did so many interviews, I done asked thousands of questions. I'm like, damn, what did Rod? Because you don't listen. Hold up, you done said so much stuff that came to fruition. And you be saying things, and I'll be like, Rod, get the F out of here. I'm like, Rod, I ain't going for that. And then 5 months later, it happened or something like that. So when they said this, I said, oh shit, what Rod said now? So what tell the people, what did you tell us was going to happen that happened for them to say the thing with what went down in DC with the National Guard and all that? What exactly did you say on my program, my brother?
Before I tell you that, you know they just started shipping them into Chicago today.
No, I did not know. No.
I woke up to the receipt this morning. The lady was filming them rolling down the streets of Chicago. So, that being said, what I had told you, Brother Rich, is that in the process of returning everything back to the tribes, they had to reverse engineer everything. DC had to first be reclaimed by the Republic from the Crown of England Corporation, the Crown Corporation. And once that happened, we knew it took place because Donald Trump renamed it the District of America. Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, then once he renamed it as the District of America, now the next phase before they give it back to the tribes is they have to dismantle the structure. And in order for them to do that, they have to have security in place to prevent an outside force from instituting a hostile takeover during the changing of the guard. Right? So the National Guard have to be rolled out before the transition of government completion is announced to the people. So you remember I told you on that one show, I was like, when you like Virgo season, I was like, yeah, somewhere between September and October, we gonna see something big, but I don't know what it is. I say, but every sign is leading to something big being popping off around September, October. Now, put a pin in that because I'm going to come back to it. Now, the National Guard, the test run last year was in New York when they took over the subways, and I told everybody that's a test run for a national rollout. The purpose being is that everything has to be secured to keep us from being invaded by a foreign force while the transitional teams is reinstituting a new form of government right in front of everybody's face. What you think all them executive orders is for? Right? This is the foundation for the fall of the cabal, which was actually the royal crown of England and the papacy of Rome. They was the ones that was holding the purse strings to the war machine in the Pentagon. And the Pentagon is operating under the control out of bankers from the Federal Reserve out of D.C. So in order for us to take it all back, they have to deploy the National Guard. I did another video about a year and a half ago, and I was like, when they roll out the National Guard, tell y'all children to honor the curfew, not because we scared of them, but because they finna give it to us. They finna give it all back to us, and the easier it is to make the transition, being the smoother everything go, the faster we can get it back. But when we put up a fight, when somebody trying to do something to assist you, like a drowning person, you can't go and pull a drowning person out head on. You got to come up behind them, because if you don't, they gonna drown you while they drowning. It's the same philosophy. I've been walking everybody through the continuity of government over the last 5 years. And about 2 years ago, I started telling y'all we at the beginning of the end of the continuity of government. Then earlier this year, I said we at the end of the end game now. And that's when I was able to say, okay, based on the movements of everything going on in the government, they about to roll the National Guard out before September, right? Because something big is going to happen between September and October. That's where the P in at. Now, the irony to that is that they have several massive UFO ships that's supposed to be here 1 November, 1 October, and one is sitting right next to the moon with a bunch of smaller ships. So all this stuff they already reported. Like, I'm not the reporter. I'm just reporting what the reporter reported. But what do it mean, right? And when we liberate Earth, we liberate galaxies. And the one
says that. Sister Myra says that. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a tyranny that came to Earth that didn't have nothing to do with us, that had to be purged. The side effect of that is everywhere that was affected before they got here get the same remedy that we institute once we overthrow the wickedness. This is your 6,000 year rule of the devil. He got 6,000 years to either take over and make us all slaves, or one of us gonna break out. Right?
And Rob, real quick, because I literally I was just about to say this. Somebody in the comments just said the question I was about to ask. Now, Rod, all right, so if this
the
is
government ain't got anything to do with
Rob, let me real quick.
Okay.
Let's bring it back. Let's make this logical. If this is a movie, say this is a movie. We all talk about a game, right? If we analyze any movie, Rod, with a bad guy, the bad guy goes out with a bang. The bad guy's not giving anything back, Rod, like that. It's not no ending where he just hands it back. The bad guy goes out with a bang, Rod. That shit is a hell of a ending of a movie. What makes you think this movie called Planet Earth 2025 episode whatever is going to be any different? Why would the bad guy just give something back? This so-called bad guy.
There you go. The thing is, the bad guy ain't gave nothing back. We took it back.
How?
By oral tradition of the ancient ways. In the oral tradition of the ancient ways, all we got to do is show who did it, how they did it, when they did it, where they did it, and why they did it. You know, so we went through who, what, where, why, and how. We ended up discovering who the perpetrator was. putting it in the public domain allow all of the tribes to access the information. Whether they believe it or don't believe it is irrelevant to the underlying fact that one of us, Earthborn, spotted the anomalies and pointed them out, and most of us thought that the one who pointed them out was a madman, right? But he ain't the only one pointing them out, but tying all of the other people pointing them out together is the defining difference. Blood in the right, Earthborn. We don't got the blood in the right. Our energy is galactic, intergalactic, but our physiology is Earthborn, right? So if your blood is tied to the liquids of the earth, your platinum, your whole periodic table of elements, it's all in your blood. And by activating that energy, you get to see the shift. And then they gave us what's called signs to read to determine if all of this stuff is fantasy fiction or a well-placed plan passed off as a prophecy. I think it's a well-placed plan passed off as a prophecy when they tell you it's going to be earthquakes in diverse places, flooding, tornadoes, and hurricanes, and that it's going to be volcanoes erupting that haven't erupted in years. And all of that stuff has been going on in the last 60 days.
Indeed. No, you're right. You're right.
It's a convergence of signs and symbols, Brother Rich. And if you know how to read the symbolism, remember, which one of you said that symbols is going to be their undoing. When we learn how to read signs and symbols, we going to be able to see everything they doing and expose it to the general public. That's what people like. Everybody got their role to play. And you got people like Brother Billy Carson. He telling you that all this stuff is written about as the cycles in the ancient times and what they did to the genome. And all of this means something. But when you're only looking at a one-dimensional perspective and you're not looking at it from a unified field theory, you will never put it together.
Indeed. Yeah. You know, and so all right, so I'm glad that you spoke on that because like I said, you said a lot of things was gonna happen and they end up happening, and I'm like, this dude Rod be on the money. So I'm like, I gotta, I forgot about that. I want to thank everybody for reminding me of that. I also want to talk to you, Rod, about this thing. A lot of people said that NASA, and some people said that it was a fake story. I'm not sure if it's real or fake, but they said that NASA said that they seen African American looking aliens coming off a cigar-shaped ship. Now, I know a lot of the speakers in the past talked about cigar-shaped ships. So, and I had a conversation with you last night, and you mentioned something to me about Black Adams, and I'm like, Rob, man, what the heck? I'm like, bro, we got to talk about this, man. You talked about Iki and Black Adams. So, talk to me about these ships, whether, I don't know if the story's real or not at this point, but talk to me about these ships, these African-American looking aliens, and what exactly is Black Adams?
Okay, we're going to get into all that real quick. So the origin story of the cylindrical ship that landed on an army base in Florida. The guy who was telling the story was being interviewed on some news channel overseas somewhere. And she was asking them to describe the aliens that was on the cigar-shaped craft. And he was describing it, and he said the best way I can describe them is they look like African Americans, right? So I'm already knowing what he's talking about because when he say African Americans, he is looking at it from the Europeanized story of the ancient ones.
Right.
So the signature is the goatee, beard, and the afro. Right. For clarification, if you go to my Facebook page and you look at my background, it's gonna have one of those guys on there in artistic format, right? Let me show you. So these are the sons of Enki. This is on my
Okay.
yeah. So we used to call them the sons of Enki for a reason. Everything that you see,
They look like you, Ron, with the goatee and the afro, man. They look like you,
but look, because they look like the indigenous Americans.
Indeed.
Right. Okay. Now the cylindrical craft is not an inleo craft. Inleo craft look a little different. Um, Enki, he got self penis envy, like he loved his phallus, right? So all of the phallic symbols, your obelisk and all of that, that's Enki worship. But you're not gonna never see it without it being by a Vesica Pisces, right? Which is the Yoni, because he don't believe in two phalluses occupying or two kings ruling the same kingdom, right? So his ship is cylindrical and it's a telltale sign. They even describe it in several Bible stories as being large cigar-shaped craft by description and measurement. Those are Enki's craft. Enlil use a different type of craft, right? So when you see the disc-shaped stuff, those are lesser scientists with different areas of control, right? The little fast flying disc, any of those craft can warp. They can warp. I mean, they can go from being over here, and in a moment's notice, they on the other side of the world, right? Because they draw two spaces together, and they jump energetically from this space to this space, which instantly moved them either around the world or even to another planet somewhere else. By connecting the two dots, it's like folding space-time to make the two dots come together, and then it'll make like a electrical arc. And the arc in the inside of it, it'll be like a wormhole, and it'll pop. It'll be in a whole nother location. It's called warping. And the people that's on there, I refer to them as Black Adams, based on the movie Black Adam, which is the origin story of Shazam. The difference between the Europeanized Shazam and the Black Adam played by The Rock, if you pay attention, The Rock as Black Adam was created by using the energy of multiple Egyptian deities, whereas Shazam used mostly Greek deities and maybe a couple of Egyptian deities. And that was to show you a shift in the control of the energies of the earth. But the Black Adams they vibrate so spiritually high, projectile weapons don't affect them. And if you don't know how to make the certain type of energy weapon that affects them, you can be shooting them all okay with your switches, and they'll be standing there looking at you like you crazy because they in a different frequency, and they just outside of the 3 dimension where that stuff can't affect them. And so I call them Black Adams. I can't figure out no other name to call them because that's the closest people that look like us, other than Simeon Toko. But Simeon Toko wasn't from the warrior class; he was from the priest class, or else it would have been a whole different story they was telling. And even in the Simeon Toko story, he say, "We coming. There's a lot of us. You ask for us, we gonna be here." He said, "But I ain't gonna tell you when they coming." Now they know they coming. The only reason I can tell you that they know they coming is because they reported that they know they coming. They put it out in the public domain. That means it's inevitable and they can't stop it. They don't put nothing in the public that they want to conceal from the people, because one of us is going to have enough ability to explain to people what they're hearing and seeing that they're going to actually click that this is actually taking place. Your so-called rapture. But the rapture is a story made up by a Southern Baptist evangelical fire and brimstone preacher. The rapture wasn't even part of biblical canon before the Bible came to America. Right? So now that the story is in place, they got a similar story in the Anunnaki tablets where they said they was coming back for the Anunnaki that they left behind. So, good riddance.
Who's the Anunnaki they left behind, Rod?
They never say. They left some scientists. In the Christian tradition, which comes out of the Rosicrucian order, they refer to as the Grail lines, the golden ones, and these was your historical king figures and emperors of ancient times, like your Genghis Khan or your Attila the Hun types, who actually had large kingdoms that they ruled as vassal warlords, because half of the contingent that stayed was warriors and the other half that stayed was scientists and artisans.
Right. So this Simeon Toko, because I've heard a lot about him, especially from Hank Risen's son. So he's from the bloodline of Enki then, Simeon Toko.
It's a very good chance. But see, Enki is the science line. So they got other brothers and sisters. We only ever talk about Enki, Enlil, and Inanna because they are the ones that's actually fighting for the heritable birthright to Nibiru. Inanna got first right to Earth and Nibiru in the Anunnaki pantheon, and Enlil got first right to Nibiru, and the only way he can take both is he had to conquer Inanna in war, who just so happened to be married to Enki. So Enki not buying it. You're not going to overthrow his wife, but then he got sons that also the sons of Enki. They don't play. Today, the human hybrids is your Dinka tribe, your Zulu tribe. Zulu means skywalkers, right? When they tell you they Zulu, they tell you they star walkers. They walked from the stars. But they didn't walk from the stars like you travel across land. When they said they walked from the stars, they folded space and time and came through the portal. Right? So it's the same thing with the Dogon. The Dogon come from a priest class. That's why they don't be in all of them wars going on with the tribes that surround them, because they not here for war. They here to maintain the frequency and vibration among humanity so that when the time comes, we can wake up from the slumber. They not supposed to do nothing else. Right? So then you got your, what they call your Bantu lines, your Bantu West African lines. Those are all different wives that Enki had children with up and down the Niger River going into the Congo. Right? This is where they hid the gorilla for a reason. You know, they haven't even knew it was a gorilla on Earth for over 150 years yet. Right? They discovered a gorilla back in the late 1800s. So now they know it's a gorilla, but they don't know what it is. They just know it's a primate. But when you study the gorilla is the quintessential patriarchal led pack animal. Right? So then the gorilla key becomes the earth key of the primate, and the earth key is called the key Kai in the Lord key to earth, Enki. So then the Enki seat becomes the seat of, as they said, you can look at it like Horus and Osiris. When Osiris is gone, right, Horus have to build himself into Osiris in order to take the seat. And the only person that can bless him to do it is his mother, or Set, Isis. So without the blessing of the mother, the son can't take the throne. And the only one that the mother is gonna bless is the one that's the most like the father.
Hey Rob, with all this knowledge that you have of the Anunnaki and like you real sharp with it. Like if somebody
No, I'm not.
to
Well, it's remember that chick me and Billy was talking about?
who?
She was gonna do a show with him, and I was like, yeah, I like her. She tell the story so clear, and I'm like, man, she tell that better than me, and I was there.
I don't remember who you're talking about. I don't remember who you're talking
I
about.
forgot her name. I think her name like Christina something. But I be sharing her clips on my Facebook. So if you scroll my Facebook, you can't miss her. And it's another one called Illuminati, I think is her moniker and her page.
Mm-hmm.
And she be telling me, like, they go into the books. The only people that could tell it better is somebody that was there.
Do you anticipate having contact with these entities, whether it's Inky or whatever, being that you know what you know? Do you anticipate in this lifetime them contact? You know, we talk about contact, them contacting you, my brother. Are you anticipating that?
Am I allowed to take the fifth at that part?
Hey, brother, anything you got to do, brother. You know, you you can take the fifth, brother, if you want. You know, the people ain't gonna want it, but I understand.
Well, look, it's not gonna be no secret.
Yeah.
This is the reason why they're giving y'all disclosure now. Ain't none of this stuff gonna be no secret too much longer. Remember, this is the age of knowing. Everybody can guess what they want to guess and suppose what they want to suppose. They can say who they think right, who they think wrong. But one thing about it, the close of the age, when we just closed out the Piscean age and we just opened up the Aquarian age, the age of knowing. Therefore, all of the belief systems, when your head was under the water of the illusion, all them belief systems has been challenged, right? Many of those belief systems was just warped from your ancient spiritual tradition. So it's not going to be no secret who's who on the planet Earth. We've been fighting wars in racism, sexism, political opinions, philosophical opinions, religious doctrine and dogma. We've been fighting all these micro wars because we've been under a warring faction of leadership. In the warring faction of leadership, as long as you warring, they can have peace. Right? Because you don't know who's pulling the strings. But when you reverse engineer everything that's going down on Earth, and you end up in Switzerland, and you end up dealing with bankers that got so much money that they'll make billionaires envious. Right? Like some of these accounts, y'all have to see them to believe the amount of money. I know it's at least one account that can give everybody on Earth. Now it's 8.4 billion people on the planet, or 8.1 now, I think, after the scandemic. But they get everybody $1 billion and won't even put a dent in what they got.
That's how much money they got.
That's how much money they got. It won't even, the interest for a year will cover that, and it will never affect their bottom dollar. This is what we call ancient money. Those are Pharaoh's coffers. Big Mama's bank. But you can't access Big Mama's bank during the time of war. Everybody think a warlock is an individual. That's not what a warlock is. A warlock is when Big Mama lock her bank. And this is why you got to go exhume everything to find out where all of the artifacts is, so you will know where the deposits is. They think that those are tombs in Egypt with all that gold in it. Those are deposits, them safety deposit boxes. That's all there is. That's why it's all that gold in there. And because somebody put an artistic expression on it, it personalized and gave it an enormous value more than the raw material itself. It became a relic, an artifact.
Right. I want to ask you. Hold on, let me Google something. Do these entities that vibrate on a high vibration, whether it's Inky or whoever it may be, there's this science of seeing sound that we refer to in this realm called cymatics. So if I play a C major chord, Rod, it'll make a certain symbol if I play those notes together. Now they say our body is a universe. It's one song, one verse, universe, and we are sound, and we are emitting a sound. So do these higher entities, do they have eyes like these cymatic machines where when they see us, they see vibrations, they see ripples as if you threw a rock in water and it rippled across the water? Is that what they're seeing when they see us? Does it look like a ripple of water that creates a certain vibration? Is that what they're seeing when they see us, my brother?
Visually, when they're looking at us from higher realms, they can perceptually perceive us in our three-dimensional format.
Well, they can see. Okay.
Right? But they also will see what we would say the streamer, which is where's your energy coming from? What source are you connected to spiritually? And your auric field colors is going to tell them so much about you before they even look at you in your three-dimensional form, because they understand the pauper god and they understand that the wolves in sheep's clothing and how they can be deceptive to the naked eye in the 3D, but you can't deceive them when they're coming from higher dimensions. And they vision of the light spectrum is so much broader than ours. We see less than 1%. I'm not sure what their percent is, but in 3D, I'm sure they see at least 10% of the light spectrum, which means they see us in more patterns, like the psychedelic patterns, with more how they would perceive us, and the color combination is going to tell them your whole life history. Right? So when they look at you in a broad spectrum like that, and then they put all of the light colors together, they know everything you've been through. Because everything we go through, it leaves something in our frequency, and this is how they are able to read your palms, read your tarot, read your eyes, your face, and some people can dry read your energy alone and tell you stuff you've been through. But these beings are more developed than us. For one, they get to train so much longer than us. When we get up in age, 80, 90 years old, some of the seers in that age bracket is spot on, laser sharp. But remember, they got a cap on how long they'll be able to learn that before they forget it all and try to remember it again in the next life of 120 years. Where juxtapose that by somebody who have 1,000-year lifespan, like so-called Methuselah, or some of the gods that was pre-dynastic during what we call the Septepi, the forever time before the first rule of the pharaoh Nama. The forever time had people that we interpret them to have sat on the throne for 300,000 years. But we don't really know how to interpret the forever time, because that was the time before time was instituted. There was no clock system before to keep track of how old these people were. That we didn't have time. Time didn't exist, and that's why they call it the forever time, because the time itself is a micro construct of magnetism in the 3D field. Right? It's the way to measure from one event to another as you move through empty space.
Yo, Rod, I remember you just made me think about something, because you was talking about earlier. You was talking about Enki and his obsession with the phallus, his phallus, and you was talking about the pharaohs. I remember when the Hebrew Israelites were debating. I think it was Brother Polite or something like that, and they would show mad pictures, and they kept talking about how much Egypt was engaged in homosexuality. And they were showing mad images of the hieroglyphs. And they was like, look at this, look at this, look at this. And they would just say how much each ancient Kemet, because they was getting at everybody that's in the Kemet. And it was like, man, y'all niggas is crazy. Whoever's in the ancient Kemet. What's your thoughts on the Hebrews who show, and I ain't trying to start that with the Hebrews, but them talking about, or anybody talking about the hieroglyphs and all the homosexuality that they say you see represented in the hieroglyphs?
That's not homosexuality. That's phallus worship. Phallus worship. Look, phallus worship is alpha male energy. You see it in penitentiary all the time, right? But most people don't know what it's like to have that many men with high masculine traits in that jammed proximity, so you can't see in this open area where you got lesser men, you got males that have never become a man, right? So you can't see it. Most of the ones in prison would have been your leaders had they not been misled by the system. They would have been the ones that pound on their chest and take over. But then they start rounding them all up, putting them in the POW camps, talking about crime. When it wasn't no crime before they came, all of a sudden now we need prisons because we got crime. And we didn't even have police because we ain't need them. We didn't have a word for police. Everybody in the community is responsible for the community. Now, the government is telling you, y'all not responsible for y'all community. We gonna take care of your community. Anything y'all do, we gonna stop you from doing it, like feeding breakfast program, and then we gonna do it because we your daddy, right? That's the war on the male, under the understanding that when the men realize that the women are the heirs to the earth, and that if we don't fight for the liberation of the divine feminine, then we are destined to lose a war against less than divine masculine. So we have to stand up and say, okay, what's going on? How do we fix it? Who's causing this problem so we can get them out of the mix, right? So all of this stuff is part of masculine energy in its proper outlet. Phallus worship, we hear us talk about it all the time in slang. It's a pissing contest, a dick swinging contest. That's all it is bravado. So when they showing these images of these pharaohs holding a super phallus, it's because he's telling you that he was the most potent of all of the pharaohs before him. Therefore, he got the biggest chance.
Okay.
Right. It had nothing to do with homosexuality. Unlike Rome, they show male to male penetration in their art. That's a different animal. I haven't seen that in none of the hieroglyphics I've ever seen. I've never seen male penetrate male in anything out of Kemet.
Indeed. What to just get back to this whole return of the Black Adams, let's talk a little bit about who are the pre-Adamites. For those who don't know, when there's literature that talks about the pre-Adamites, for those who don't know, who exactly are the pre-Adamites, Rod?
All of those species that they see came before Homo sapiens. The Adamite is called the Adama because they say they earthborn. So that means they was made on Earth, but they can't go nowhere else. But you got ancient people called pre-Adamites and antediluvians, being before the flood. They call them Tartarians is Tartarus, which is Antarctica, which was an Atlantean civilization. All of those are pre-Adamites, right? And even when we talk about the Adamite is only 8,400 years old, and they was genetically altered by the Anunnaki. And one of them is called Abraham Lincoln Africanus.
Okay.
Go on your phone, type in Abraham Lincoln Africanus.
Hey, y'all, write that down. Somebody drop it in the chat, man.
Yeah, Abraham Lincoln Africanus.
Because he really didn't free the slaves. He just really transferred us over to Congress. And then they put a play on him because he shot because he cut the bankers out on interest on their money, by printing the greenback. Says Abraham Lincoln Africanus. What? Africanus. Oh, that's Frederick Douglass.
You want to read it to you?
Hey, read it.
Abraham Africanus was a mocking racist nickname for President Abraham Lincoln, used by his opponents, particularly Copperheads, during the Civil War to suggest he had African ancestry or was too sympathetic to black people. This nickname, along with political pamphlets and cartoons like Abraham Africanus the First, aimed to undermine Lincoln by linking him to black people and portraying him as a radical or dictatorial figure threatening the established social order. Historians have found no evidence to support the claim of Lincoln's black ancestry. Now you know,
He black.
not only that, Jay Rogers got a book called Five Black Presidents. And one of the things that he used to validate and prove that Abraham Lincoln was black was the guy who won Abraham Lincoln lookalike contest, and he was a DC attorney, and he was a known brother.
Man, that's crazy.
It says Jay Rogers, Five Black President. But what that was really telling you is that it was two Abraham Lincolns. One was pale-faced, the other one was not.
Yep.
Remember, Abraham Lincoln had nappy hair under that top hat.
Yeah. See, I heard a story where they replaced like they really did this to us. Cut like anybody that was like in a position of authority, they erased them all, made them white. They made them white. Anybody who was in a position of authority, it looked like
they did that to the Continental Congress.
Yeah.
You got people that still have the original flyers, right? And they since posted them. They show the pictures of all of the people that was drawn at the time that the Continental Congress was going on. They got all of them face in the circle.
Yeah.
Right? But then when they show us the picture of the Continental Congress, they all painted pale face.
Right. It's all part of the white supremacy game.
It's the same with George Washington. We don't even know which George Washington they talking about. Was it the one born in Barbados? Was it the one born in Virginia or the one born in France? Which one is it? Make your mind up.
Yeah. The one in Barbados. And he was he looked this color too. And he sold us out, and he got a whole bunch of land out in Oregon. They gave him almost he had the most. He was the richest guy in the Western Hemisphere. I mean, the West Coast. After president, after he sold America. Yeah. So these guys, we going back to the Republic, man. So it's the Republic for which it's thing. Always was and always will be. Ain't nothing they can do about it.
No, that's what I'm saying too.
Huh?
The Republic is going to surrender to the matriarchy.
Yeah.
Right, but you had to go through the Republic in order to take it back from the corporation.
Mm-hmm.
You had to go backwards through the whole process.
Yeah.
Like I told you, we're going through the Republic now. The restored Republic is going back through the reign of George Washington into the Continental Congress, which transferred back to the tribal jurisdiction to re-establish. Now, they got chiefs in Raven Rock that's doing the lines of demarcation because all of the lines have to change.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's right.
And when all of the lines change, the capitals have to change. The centers of government have to be moved. Because they was on the Atlantic shoreboard, they have to go to the west of the Mississippi now because it's their turn to hold the capital again.
Mm-hmm.
This is why you see the United States Treasury moving to a reservation right outside of Reno, Nevada. And CITCOM moved from Langley, Virginia, not Langley, I keep forgetting the name of that Marine base down there. But from there, it's moving to Raven Rock, Colorado, under the mountain. And this is where the command center has been for the last 12 years. or 10 years. They was the ones decided to put Trump in office instead of just go ahead and have a bloody coup to take or counter coup, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So they used the system to take the system back from the people that stole the system.
Aristocrats, man, the aristocrats. Hey, and you know what? I can see in my mind, Rod, like this, all of the little parasites that was sneaky and against our country. I can see them like rats that's got the spotlight on them. Now they like, oh, they see us, they know who we are. We got to get up out of here. Like a rat, like rats leaving out a burning barn. They got to get the hell on, and it's all over with now. But they going off licking their chops like, well, we robbed them for so much now. We like they was already full off of our wealth. They already full and fat. They walking around fat off of us, and they still want more. They want it more. We want to hold them forever, for generations and generations.
Yeah, they operate off the philosophy of what's mine is mine and what's yours is mine.
Wow.
So now they finna find out you can't have my cornbread.
Yeah. Yeah. Eat your
own cornbread. You get my cornbread. Come reach your hand over here, and I'm gonna drop back a nub. I'm telling you now, don't mess with my cornbread.
Especially that good grandma's buttermilk cornbread, fresh out the oven, hot, man, with some chili beans, man, with some chili beans and rice, man. Don't get me started, man. I'm starting to get
collard greens.
Some collard greens too, man. Some collard greens, man, with everything, with the apple cider vinegar in them joints, man.
Look, anybody from the South know your greens don't taste right unless you eat them with your fingers.
Man, you gotta sop it. You gotta sop it. You gotta get that juice. Get you some cornbread. Hey, some hot sauce, some Louisiana hot sauce. Man, come on, man. Making me hungry, man. Man, some Louisiana hot sauce with the cornbread and some with them greens, then some black eyed peas. Man, come on, some purple hud peas. You ain't from the country, man. Come on.
You making me hungry. You making me hungry. I got some chili. I got some chili beans and rice upstairs. I'm about to go handle my business.
That sound good. Hope you got some. Hey, hope you got that motherfucking cornbread on the side. It's a dude that be on.
Yeah.
You know that too. They be cooking.
Yeah. Gotta have that motherfucking cornbread. Hey, he be cooking up something, don't he?
Yeah, I'm telling you, that dude there, he real deal. Like them people in Louisiana can cook, man. That dude there, the real deal.
Most of the ones that live back off in the holler can cook.
Them Cajuns.
You know, most of the people can't cook from the inner city.
Right.
There's very few country folk that can't cook.
Yeah, that's right.
Right, and then a lot of the country folks is pale faced. They learn how to cook from our big mamas, so they can burn.
Right. That's right. They got big mamas.
We be forgetting that they got pictures of the big mamas nursing the pale faced babies.
Yeah, for breastfeeding them.
Yeah, but they wasn't just breastfeeding. They was nourishing their life. They was teaching life skills to them. Stuff that they purposely deny us now. Nobody don't tell children that life's supposed to be hard. You're supposed to have struggles. That's why the suicide rate's so high. No. People get into a struggle situation and they give up.
Yeah, that's right.
And, the struggle is just a test. You go through a period of ease, and you go through a test. It's called vicissitudes of life.
Right.
The ups and downs. Right? The more you prepare a child to endure the struggle part, the easier their struggles become because they expect them to come.
Yeah.
But when you were here with an emotional drain and you don't know where it's coming from and what to do about it, you lose hope.
You want to escape.
Let Tupac say, we hopeless. We only hopeless if we helpless. But if you helpful, be helpful. Right? Because when you helpful to others, you helpful to yourself. You're teaching yourself the skills to interact with other people on a higher frequency.
Right.
That's why we do this.
Right.
Raise our own frequency by explaining to people the information, where we was lied to at, where is the correction in the lie. Yeah, a whole bunch of people that told us what the lie was. Nobody's telling us the correction. Because they think the correction to the lie is called status correction.
Yeah.
You don't have to correct your status in the system you're not a part of.
Right.
You only got to correct your status when you're part of a system. You came in as the plumber and they're trying to put you on an electrician job. Your status is incorrect. You got to go let them know that I'm not the electrician, I'm the plumber, so they can put you on the plumbing team.
Right.
Right? So status correction meaning that I accept the system only under these conditions.